Who's Ingrid Michaelson?
Let's get rich and give. Is it recording?
Nope.
It's live.
It's live. We're live.
Okay, are we fucking in the right place? You just shouldn't have started it. Okay. Good evening. How is everybody? This is what's it called? The normal people's playbook. And I am Caroline.
And I'm not Caroline.
And this is Michael, who's difficult. He's a difficult person. Difficult Michael. Or, oh no, I won't bring it up. So, Michael would like to apologise. Well, actually, Michael would like to discuss last week's episode.
Because, see, a high-functioning, normal person would recognise that people have different needs and apologise where appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
However, I stand by my life decision to do and then apologise sometimes rather than not do things for fear of retribution / making people uncomfortable.
Yeah, so essentially Michael feels as though the 45-minute blasphemous rant that happened last week, and if you would like to see the 45-minute blasphemous rant that happened last week, you just have to look on our YouTube channel.
There is a channel for BodyLanguage. Caress the sign, I think. Caress the sign.
Ooh.
There's also a Facebook page for BodyLanguage. So you can YouTube BodyLanguage or...
Just fast forward to like 36 minutes and then you get it.
The Normal People's Playbook is also on Facebook. You may like that page as well as the BodyLanguage page.
It's great.
And let the blasphemy flow freely.
Let the blasphemy flow freely. Because essentially, believe what you like, but as we can tell, I have some feelings. And as has been blatantly clear by my entire life, I express those feelings. I think it's fine. Michael feels like I have possibly ostracized the Christian community. But
it's not a problem with you. I just feel like a blanket apology
just blanket that. Okay.
Inclusive. It's
Inclusivity is what
including...
the Normal People's Playbook thrives upon.
Yeah. And, okay, so some people derive a sense of community and wisdom and how to be a more high-functioning human being, which is what we're about.
And also, like, just general faith, like general faith that, and faith can be anything. Like, faith can be, I believe that, outcomes are out of my control, but whatever those outcomes are, that's what was meant to happen. Like, I'm not here to, puppeteer the world. I can just, do my bit and let others do their bit and just have faith that everything's going to be okay. And for other people, it's certain books or certain writings or certain belief systems, and they want to share those with others. They go, it's not just my God, it's our God. What have you? It's a Pandora's box. Anyway, yeah. So, that's great.
So we apologise. There might be a few more of those, I feel.
Look, every week is going to start with our apology minute. Sorry, guys. Moving on. Something else that was raised in last week's... What is it? It's not a podcast. What is it? Video?
It's a TV
Expression?
show. It's a TV show.
It's a TV show, guys. It's real. Was that Michael is very pro the missionary position. Some of you may remember there's a song called Missionary Michael.
I don't remember that. Do you think you could remind us?
I will. Just essentially Missionary Michael is the topic, and the missionary position, again, Pandora's box. So, missionary, here's my thing. So, when people say, like, I was having sex with this person and they were like a starfish?
I thought you were going to an apology. However, go on.
Oh,
continue.
no. So I need
No
clarification.
apology.
I need total clarification.
Okay.
So
No apology. Right.
there is a thing where people say that it's being a starfish. Starfish. Oh, that person, dud root, starfish. And my question is, what is a starfish? What is legitimate missionary position?
Okay. Well, being an expert on the missionary position, apparently, I'm well versed in the subtleties of
in the light subtleties of this.
of the possible dynamics.
This is the situation we're talking about.
Mm.
Except, hey, on the bottom one doesn't move. There.
That's a starfish.
That's what we're doing. Is that starfish?
Yeah, it's the bottom
What
one
is
doesn't
starfish?
move. Okay, I think that besides it being a dogma thing, that's like toxic masculinity, blah blah, locker room. You know, besides it being a dogma thing, that's like.
But is it
figure of
real?
speech.
Like, are people really doing that?
What people mean is not so much participation, right? But you know how men derive a huge sense of ego from their ability to sexually pleasure a woman, as well as seduce. You know, that there's this status attached to being able to seduce.
Not a man. Don't understand. Keep going.
But you're aware, I'm saying.
I get the vibe, but okay. Yeah.
Well, you know, girls, the start of the seduction process for women is like,
oh, I'm sorry, sir. Like, and even like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? Like, seriously. And meanwhile, they're like creaming their pants, stalking on Facebook.
And just for all the lads out there, that phase where the girl's like, that's the only time you really have to prove to them that you're not an absolute creep, because they're scanning for creep at that time. They're like,
this is true.
Is he going to cut my head off?
Are you a creeper?
And then
Are you a creeper?
If you act normal during that phase, then phase 2. And you're
The
good.
starfish.
Don't
It's essentially
fast-forward to
not a
starfish.
creeper, starfish. So my belief of starfish is that it's essentially like snow angel. Like someone's just lying there.
No,
like
not
the
even.
snow angel.
Not even.
Doing these.
We'll make a gif of this.
Starfishing. But it's like, so my question is there a bent leg? Are you bending your legs? Because to me, that's not starfishing anymore. That's a bent leg.
It's not geometrically a starfish anymore.
Well, and this is it. It's like, if we're using this sort of term, like, I mean, what are we saying? Like, are we saying that single bent leg is still in the starfish arena? Is double bent leg now
That's a
missionary?
seahorse. No, now we're doing seahorse.
Are we now missionary?
No, it's a seahorse, you know.
Or is it all under the missionary umbrella? Which is why missionary is hilarious.
Wait, let me return to the bit I was saying before.
Okay,
So,
sorry.
because men derive a sense of, you know, first of all, self-approval, and then ego, and then status from being able to pleasure a woman sexually, it's kind of like shifting the blame to the girl, like, she barely participated, therefore it's not my fault that she didn't.
I'm king of the D.
Yeah. Like,
It can't possibly be me. And also this idea that it's like two opposing forces. You know what I mean? Where it's like, instead of saying like that the sexual experience, like, let's just talk about guy, girl, or person A, person B. And so saying that, you know, I did everything that I could. Like, you know, I definitely missionaried my face off, and that person was a dud root or whatever happened, or they didn't enjoy themselves.
It's their fault, yeah.
It's their fault, as opposed to this is a situation where two people literally come together. And, and so can we not talk about the unification, the physical union? Like, it's like, I'm fine. I'm just fucking the greatest lover ever. But, you know, that person failed to get off.
Yeah, it's to alleviate the hurt feelings. Meanwhile, some people are harder to get off, and that's like not an intimacy thing. I think that's a biological thing. However, returning to the intimacy factor, if that didn't happen, if you didn't get like a nice groove going where you were like both doing the...
That's where my friend Kerry Peterson goes, I'm going to have to stop you right there, mate. Which is one of the greatest stories I've ever heard in my life. So, my friend Kerry, who's just alleged...
Whose name is not Kerry, for the sake of...
Whose name's Tanya. So Tanya is... So, I'm going to have to totally make up all new names. So
I can
Tanya...
bleep it. I can bleep it when we...
Don't worry, that's fine. So Tanya is working in a bar. And so there's, several other people working there. And there's this guy who's kind of a douche. And he was the sort of person who, remember when you could still fuck around on Facebook and, like, change your name? So I remember for like 4 years, my name was Candy Poon.
Yes.
I was Candy Poon on Facebook. It was amazing. And he changed his name.
You'll always be Candy Poon.
I'm Candy Poon to so many people still. So, and when it goes like when you look up your personal Facebook URL, mine is still Candy Poon / Facebook. And I'm like, yes. Yes, Facebook.
Tanya. So Tanya was working.
So Tanya's working at a bar. There's this guy at the bar who works with them who legit changed his name on Facebook to his middle name being Danger. So he'll be known as Danger from now on. So Danger had a massive thing for Tanya, like huge. And he would ask her out all the time and he would try to like crack on at like, they'd close down the bar and they'd be drinking, whatever, and he'd be trying to sleaze on. And everyone kind of had a soft spot for Danger, and I think because he was, like, the missing stare, you know what I mean? So everyone was like, when there's a missing stare and everyone just kind of works around it, but, like, people get this really, like... But, they get this little soft spot, like, like, this is the best Danger's ever going to be, you know what I mean? So we're just going to, like, buck up Danger, you've got this. And so everyone's supporting Danger in cracking onto Tanya, and Tanya's not having a bar of it. But finally, she cracks. So one night, they're out at some other bar, like, sort of group of workmates, and Danger's trying to, like, he's messaging, and he's doing the whole, like, liking every single status she puts on Facebook, and then liking every single tag that somebody else had done. So it was just insane. Anyway, and we one time took a picture of a stick in a pot. Like, we put a stick in a terracotta pot, took a picture of it, and tagged Tanya, and he liked it. It was gold. So, it was amazing.
Just to make a point.
So, this is where we're at with Danger. And so, finally, she's like, fine, fuck it. I'm going to give Danger a go. Like, I'm just going to give Danger a go. We're just going to see how this goes. And
but what, like, does that mean a date, or is she going straight to
No,
Starfish?
she was just like, we're just like, fine, fuck it. Yeah, he just wants, like, just, if I let him put his penis inside me, I can just prove once and for all that this is just a terrible idea. Okay. And so, Danger comes over, and she's already, like, half cut. Like, she's just like, I've got to be drunk to, even consider this as being a good idea. And so they get onto it, and she describes it as one of the most, like, when you don't have chemistry with somebody and it's like everything suddenly becomes really angular and weird, like you sort of like there's an elbow in someone and you kind of like, ow, like it's really like like you fucked. That's what it was like. And so Danger's desperately trying to pleasure the woman of his desire.
It's his chance. He's finally got his chance.
He's desperately trying to do this. And everybody's having performance issues. Like, the whole thing is a fucking disaster. And probably about 5 minutes into it, Tanya's like... So he's on top of her, like, rooting away. Missionarying his face off. And she puts her hands on his chest and literally, like, pushes him up and just goes, literally, I'm going to have to stop you right there, mate. And then squiggles out from underneath, gets up, and just goes and sits in her living room. And he's just like, we're done. Like, we're absolutely done. This chick, so Tanya's my favourite person. The other golden moment out of Tanya is when her housemate dated possibly the worst person in the entire world. And... How? Long story. Like, STDs are involved. Fucking just a lot of shit is involved. That's an epic story.
A lot of bullshit.
A lot of bullshit. Anyway, he's a terrible person. And she is, you know, there for her housemate. Her housemate's devastated, crying, blah, blah, blah. And gets over it finally and is able to love again. And then Tanya is out on Greville Street and walks and is at this bar. She goes out the front for a cigarette and lo and behold, who is sitting outside but terrible guy who fucked over her housemate and some date that he's on. And she's like, it's like something snapped inside me. And I was like, I'm not having a bar of this. I'm not having a fucking bar of this.
Wow.
And walks over and he's like, hey, mate, like, what's going on? And he's like, hey, Tanya, wow. And she's like, can I sit down? Just sits down, starts pounding darts. She's drinking. She's like, I don't know, 12 drinks in or something. And she starts just going off. Like, you did this and blah, blah, blah. And she stands up at one point. She gets to the climax of this lecture. And the final thing she says is, which is great, a pox on all your houses. And then just walks out of the bar. And she's like, oh my God, and gets on the phone to her housemate. And her housemate isn't answering the phone. Her housemate's at work. And so she leaves this series of voicemails. And they go from being like, I just saw that massive fuckhead who fucked you over. And I had a go at him. And then the next one's like, and I had to go at him because I love you. Because I can't believe that you went through something like that. And she's like, I'm going to go back and have another go at him. He can go fuck himself. Like, just, and it goes, and then the final one's like, I think I might have gone too far. Like, I'm really, I don't know, what do you think I should do?
Sober it up a bit, reasonable, yeah.
Gold. So, that's what happens when missionary goes, when Starfish goes wrong. I'm going to have to stop you right there, mate.
Yeah.
Wiggle
out.
Just wiggle out. But I mean, I don't know, like how do we feel about just like, because missionary obviously is limiting in many ways. Well, in some ways. And like,
it's a good way to check if you do have if you're compatible enough to make missionary not boring and not awkward and not like jagged and angular, then you might have some chemistry from which to hang a relationship off. Whether that relationship is 3 dates, 9 dates, or several years, you gotta get the missionary right.
So you reckon it's a deal breaker?
Third time unlucky. Like, if you know, do you know what I mean? If you sleep with someone 3 times and it's fucking.
Oh, if you sleep with someone for the 3rd time and it's shit, it's just like cut your fucking losses. I cut my losses at bad making out. If you're shit at making out.
Well, if you want to know if he loves your soul, then a kiss. That's where it is.
Oh my god. Oh my god. We actually have a competition running right now, and for the next how many more minutes? For the next we're just burning through. For the next 25 minutes, we have a competition running, and Michael nearly did it, but he referenced the wrong song.
Stay tuned.
So missionary is the deal breaker. We still haven't clarified what is Starfish, what is missionary, but, you know.
It's hideous lack of chemistry and then blaming the other person for not correctly.
So you feel as though Starfish isn't in the moment, it's after the fact? Yeah,
I think it's a label that you apply after the fact, that someone applies after the fact to feel better about their inability to achieve an in-sync flow of intimacy. Oh, that was good, wasn't it?
Wow. Do you want to start burning incense and maybe get out the Tibetan singing bowl while you say that kind of shit?
No, but I would like to refer to the fact that I'm a writer and my book's coming out this year. You may subscribe to the mailing list on deadlymoves.com.au.
Wow.
Plug.
That's amazing. And every subscription to the mailing list gets a Tibetan singing bowl.
Performed by none other than... Look how natural she is. She's just...
Oh, hang on, I'll use this.
It's working. I can feel it. Oh wow, I'm in Tibet right now.
So into bed right now. I'm so into bed. So, this week, what's happened to us this week that has caused us to feel like maybe there's topics that need to be discussed in order to have
High functioning.
reasonable responses to things.
Because
I feel like monogamy / missionary / non-monogamy is pertinent right now.
Ethical non-monogamy. Yeah.
Ethical non-monogamy. Interesting. Okay. Proceed.
Continue. All right. One thing that I find really charming about polyamory, right? And this is not from having done. I've had open relationships. One of them with a friend of yours. Let's not go there. Where we had a don't ask, don't tell policy, and that worked fine for me. That worked fine. It's like, let's not rub it in each other's face. And that was the agreement. Don't rub it in each other's face. What you do is your business. When we're together, let's make that as delightful as possible. When we're not together, what you do is your own business. A thing I find charming about the poly friends that I know now is that you have to constantly invest in the other person's feelings, right? So it's not like, we're together now, too bad, I'm going to behave like this and you love me or leave me. It's kind of this, like, we had a deal, you put a ring on and it's like, we had a deal, too bad, I'm doing this, and, like, I don't care how you feel. It's a little bit more like that, is what I think of traditional relationships. When compared to polyamory, where you constantly... Are you okay if I do this? Yeah, and it's like, okay, you're upset about that. How can I make it better? All right, I did something with someone else, so how about I take you on a date? It's like this, constant, like, what's the word? Organic, like, integral, that's the word I'm looking for. Integral negotiation.
So, as a, like, open to polyamorous, non-monogamy person, what is it about the going outside the relationship that works for you? Because I'm learning too, everybody.
Okay, discuss, because here's another theory I've developed, and it's partly from talking to, like, men going their own way and stuff as well, this whole biological,
imperative stuff.
Yeah, is, I kind of feel like...
Is that a belief or is that a vibe?
It's a movement, so... It's like the flat earth thing, or it's like people who are like, oh yeah, I've watched those things and I agree, and yeah, we're all part of this dogma now, we're on this train, right? We'll get back to flat earth. Anyway, okay. I started to believe this from seeing it in practice, and then from learning these concepts and then seeing them, I was like, that's totally happening. I believe it's a conflicting drive of men, like, wanting to spread their seed to as many women as possible, thus enhancing their chances of passing on their genes. And for women, it's a nesting thing. And, like, even women who are like, I'm not having children, I don't want to have children, there's still that nesting hardware that's like, yeah, I want to, like, build a little empire, and I'm in the middle of it, and then my lovely man's there, and it's, like, in the nest, and it's, like...
But do you think dudes, like, don't want to do that?
Less, like...
But if, I mean, all we have to do is change one word. We just have to move nest into kingdom.
Yes.
And we've essentially got the exact same situation.
Of the lesbians that you know, are they all nesty though, or does one become like a no, hey, relax, baby, I'm gonna do what I want, like?
But I don't think it's a relax, baby, or to do what I want thing. I think if we're sort of I think we use the word nest because it's a feminized word. You know what I mean? Oh, nesting. Oh, she's so nesty, like nesty. Like, I'm pregnant, I'm nesting now. And so all of a sudden it's a chick thing. But we're literally saying the exact same thing when a dude's saying, oh, my kingdom. So, like, yeah, I've got my woman, and I've got my kids, and I've got my house, and
my man cave.
And I'm the king of it, and this is how we're rolling. And that's essentially the masculinized version of what you just described chicks doing.
Okay, valid.
So you know what I mean? Like, is this like a language thing?
Yeah,
is this is this something that can be discussed? Like, I mean, essentially, is it like... Because I'm not saying in any way, shape or form that I think ethical non-monogamy or whatever can work. Like, and if people tell me that they're happy, I'm going to believe them, because who am I to judge? You know what I mean? Like, if somebody goes, oh, like, eating only raw food is making me fucking so happy, and I'm like, not for me, probably can't do it, not interested, probably not going to buy the pamphlet, move on with life. But if they tell me that they're happy, I'm just like, fucking power to you.
Good for you.
So if you say that ethical non-monogamy, polyamory, open relationships are making you happy, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to say, oh, well, you're not happy. That's not my role. However, I think I'm more like, I'm curious as to know the drive behind it.
Yeah, and this is what I'm getting at, the conflicting drives. I wonder if it works for... The guy can still be a bit of a hornbag and spread his seed as he's biologically wired to. And she's like, yeah, cool. As long as you come back to the nest, dickhead, and like give me enough attention that I don't hate you, then we cool. You can have a little girlfriend on the side or go out on the weekend and do what you will. As long as you give me enough love that I feel loved, and then I can continue to love you without hating you.
But that's just getting your needs met, you know what I mean? And I think you can get your needs met in any way, shape or form. Like, I think that, you know, like in my friendships, for example, like, my friendships work perfectly. They work exactly how I want them to work.
I'm going to have to stop you there, buddy, but...
Wiggle. Well, because but they work perfectly. Like, the amount of contact and conversations that I have is great. The times we spend together are really fun, blah, blah, blah. I'm getting my needs met. And I'm not like, oh, you can't have other friends. But I think when we talk about, like, the deep emotions that happen from sexual intimacy, like, that for me changes things.
And do you think...
I'm a jealous person.
I had a conversation with a partner about this. It's like... You know when you dated someone... I'm going to come back to the concept. You know when you dated someone and you break up with them and then you both have other partners and then you get back together? It's almost like where you left off. Like the material that was like unresolved and the material that was resolved is like still in the chapters of your relationship. So... It's like the stuff that happened in between.
The script has still been written.
Yeah, and you might have learned like a second position to you know, in the meantime. But the script is
Do you know what's really bad? Is when you get back to, or you sleep with an ex or something after like a period of time and like they've changed the way they go down on you. And you're like, wow. Really?
Are you a bit angry?
Really? Well, because you're very just like, it's like, the most undeniable thing that they've been with someone else.
Does it make you angry or are you happy? Are you like good? I couldn't.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, what ex have I slept with again?
Wait a second.
I haven't ever really gone back.
My point is that other people can't change the love that you have with someone, right? But I think, from what I've seen, girls are more like, no, if you're intimate with someone else, then that fucks up our thing. And it's like, I don't think it's like that for dudes. It's like, nah, she's a legend, and I'm always going to head back to her because she always brings out the best in me, and I can't help but be compelled to move towards her, despite all of the other women that are there. It's like, nah, I love her the most.
Do you think as you get older, though, that those feelings change? Like, that requirement to go out and bone changes?
Yeah, I reckon after a certain number, it's like, yeah, I've seen a lot of boobs, you know. Do you know what I mean? I've seen a lot of D. You know?
No one's like just thrilling me with the whole new set of jugs. Like, it's just what have you. I don't know. Like, I feel like everybody. I mean, maybe everybody's both. ¿Por qué no los dos? You know, like maybe everybody has a drive to meet partner. Blah blah blah, and then also bone about.
Yeah, and I'm not saying women don't go like, I'm gonna spread my seed, because they totally do, but it seems to be like a short phase between relationships. Like, yeah, I'm not up for anything right now, and you know, girls have said that to me, and I was like, I'm not asking you to be my girlfriend. I wanted to have sex with you, but clearly this is rejection. You know, like it's like I'm not looking for anything right now. I'm like. So, double rejection, because I was asking for sex, but I got relationship rejected.
Would you say that ethical non-monogamy is a subculture?
Yeah, such as flat earthing.
Like, not dissimilar.
There's definitely, because there's movements, there's a group in Melbourne, and they all know each other and stuff, and it's run by a couple who are polyamorous, right? So that's totally a thing, is building a subculture around it. But you know, there's that dude who's like, has the unicorn gang or whatever, and it's in the UK somewhere, but he was like a festival and a bit of a sexual thing, and he had some other weird thing going on before the unicorn thing, but now he's got like a unicorn cult going.
But see, this is it, then it gets really culty.
Yeah, and so it's just basically dressing up like orgies and stuff, and they all live in a house and everyone's
well,
like,
it's just fucking David Koresh without the Waco compound.
and without drinking the bathwater.
You know what I mean? Like, because so many... And this is the thing. This is where it gets very, like... This is where my women's senses start tingling. My spidey senses go off. Is where I think to myself, I'm like, is this just dudes proselytizing again as a way to make it okay that they're kind of being cunty? Like, is this women, like, you know, certain women believing certain things about themselves and their bodies? Drinking the Kool-Aid, as one would say. You know what I mean? Like, sure. And it just kind of, that's where it gets my back up. That's when my shoulders around my ears just, like, gross.
What about in the cultures where, like, polygamy is cool? They're like, I'm sick of his, you know, balls in my handy anyway. Cool, have a younger girlfriend, and the primary wife, like, okays the new wives. It's like, no, you keep that,
that
you can't be around me.
That sounds like a business transaction to me, though. It kind of sounds like... I don't know, it just sounds like a business transaction.
But that's what works, is just like, I don't want to fuck him anymore. Yes, you can have a slightly younger girlfriend who for some reason is like enamoured with you.
But then where's the chick with the 6 husbands?
Do you mean the first wife?
Or just anyone? Like, where's the chick with the 6 husbands? Where's the first husband going, oh babe, that's okay, like, you can have a younger boyfriend?
That is definitely a thing, and there is some African culture where it's commonplace as well, and that's social dogma, where like the matriarch's like, I'm gonna have to stop you there, buddy, and then has like a young 20-something-year-old man who comes around subtly to that side of the tent, and the family sort of know what's going on, but they just all face the other side of the tent.
Like,
yeah, that's totally a thing in their culture.
You painted, and it was like, yeah, no, we like cornflower blue. It's really beautiful.
So, I guess in that respect, it might, if that's a social thing...
I think my thing is, I just don't get it. I think that's my thing.
But conflicting drives, like, if men need more, then in that culture, they're like, yeah, okay, have some more wives, and then in poly, it's like, okay, you can have sex with other girls, and then, you know, it's possible that dudes totally overreact when she takes her business elsewhere, and it's like, well, that's how you made me feel. Oh, cool, now we understand each other, more intimacy. I'm jealous now as well. Jealousy, let's discuss how jealousy makes us feel, let's unpack jealousy. Etc.
So you feel like it could be like a channel for like growth?
Do I? I mean, how do people overcome infidelity all the time, and it deepens their intimacy or whatever, like in the presence of a therapist usually, but you know, it's either like, get the hell out of my life, or it's like, okay, I apologise for not being attentive enough to your needs. That's clearly why you took your business elsewhere. What are your needs? I'm sorry I didn't listen, I'm listening now, you know? Stuff like that happens, you know?
It's very interesting. It's a very deep thing, I believe. And then I reckon it taps into all kinds of other stuff. Like, it taps into, you know, different beliefs and different, like, oh, I'm totally fine with the relationship, how it's going. And then, what? You know, my partner's been exploring different beliefs or different ways of living.
Would you say that that was heartbreaking? That's good.
Possibly. It could have been. Yeah, because I feel as though anything outside of... Okay, I'm coming around, I'm starting to understand. So anything outside of primary relationship, communication, trust, and fidelity, whatever that fidelity is cheating, whether it be emotional, spiritual, physical. I think I just figured out non-monogamy. I'm not for it. Like, as in, I'm not a participant, but I do get it. I get it.
What clicks for you just on
what is cheating? Because I get what you mean by saying that there's like, you know, like there's a primary where all the communication and commitment and discussion and feelings occur. The physical aspect is on the outside.
Well, it's up for negotiation, but yeah.
But and also, it doesn't have to be a physical situation for it to be cheating.
Because I don't think men are as, like, threatened by emotional cheating or whatever, but women obviously are, because if a woman starts emotionally investing elsewhere, that is a threat to her marriage. So they're like, is he emotionally investing on it?
Maybe this is where, like, the miscommunication between chicks and dudes in heteronormativity happen is because chicks are like, if I'm emotionally cheating on someone, I'm legit checking out. But I'm focused on my partner's physical thing. You know what I mean? Whereas a dude's like, yeah, you can go and, like, have a best guy friend. I don't even care. Are you dicking him? And then they have a problem with that.
Yeah. The physical becomes a problem. Yeah, I don't know why they think it's a threat. I think that relates back to men's insecurity about the sexual prowess. I was like, is he fucking you better than me? Does he have a bigger dick than me? It's like this.
What's the missionary like?
Stuff that, yeah. Is she gonna leave me because he's better at sex, right? And the woman's is like, is he gonna leave me because she's better at
like because she's. Oh, you've got low battery.
No, it's plugged in. It's lies. Anyway.
What are you doing? I just love how Michael just gets up and just strolls around. He's just like, I have no commitment to staying still.
I do what I want.
You need to meditate more.
You just
need to fucking meditate. And...
I meditate all the time. At like 5 a.m. and stuff. I get up and I'm like, wow, I'm ahead of time. I'm going to do some qigong. Welcome to the day, Michael. Welcome to the day.
I bought a new phone and it's fucking... Do you know the hassle of getting a new phone? Is that my old phone worked exactly how I wanted it to, except when it started telling me shit like, I have no storage space left, and wah, and it started being a bit wary. It was just pretty wary. And then I tried to download apps and stuff, and it's like, sorry, like, that's impossible. And it would ask me, and it's like, so pick something that you want to delete so you can download a new thing. And it would be like, all my contacts, or Chrome. Like, it would just say, like, just you have to get rid of that.
Shit, yeah.
And I'm just like, wow. Okay, fine.
Are you prepared to delete the ability to make phone calls?
Yeah, like, you can either make phone calls or have...
Instagram.
And I'm kind of like...
Do I need
remember that time I got Instagram and then it got hacked?
I don't recall.
Yes, you do, because you messaged me. So I got Instagram 50 years after Instagram was invented. And it was about my dog. So I've got a dog. Her name's Janet. Everyone playing at home. Full name Janet Marie. So Janet Marie is a Chihuahua Jack Russell cross. And she's fucking amazing. And what's it doing? Oh, it's installing. And she's rad. And so I started an Instagram about Janet Marie. And then that sort of expanded into pictures of other people's dogs and then shit that my, like, co-workers would do. And so it was fun and games for all. And I had some Instagram friends, which was great, like Michael, and it was amazing. And so people were really, like, pro my Instagram. Like, I think I had, like, 47 followers. It was great. And so we're having happy days. And then I wake up one morning and I've got this message from Michael going, I really like the direction your Instagram's going in. And I'm like, what? And like, it's my day off and I'm like, oh my fucking God, it's like 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I try to open my Instagram account and I've been blocked out. Like, I cannot access anything. And so I'm like, can I get a screenshot? And he is like over the moon. And so he's just screenshotting everything. And I had been hacked by a softcore porn site. And it all started innocently enough. So it's like, picture of Janet, picture of some fucking, like, Doberman. And then it's like chick in bikini, like headless chick in bikini. And then it's like headless chick, like, holding nipples. And then it just fucking escalated from there. And I was still getting notifications. So I was getting like, oh, you've got 4,500 new followers. So the new direction actually really was very good for popularity, but I just could not participate in anything that was happening. And it was terrible. And I think it was the universe saying, I'm sorry, Grandma, you don't get to use Instagram. It was awful. Yeah, I got kicked off. Instagram. And I never had Snapchat.
What happened? It was an unrelated Instagram thing where that guy accidentally was sending you flattering photos of himself via Instagram?
When I didn't have Instagram.
But wait, Instagram was
Instagram is sending you photos of me, and I'm like, because I'm nothing if not polite, and so I was like, oh, weird, Instagram, you freak. P.S. I don't have Instagram. Then I never said it. I never, ever said it. I just went along with the lie. Because he was sending me, like, accidental topless pictures. Which was kind of great. Like, I'm not gonna... Who's gonna stop the flow of topless guy photo? And there was no dick pic, which I appreciated. I was like, oh, that's not... Although I don't think I would have minded.
Okay.
This particular dude, I don't think I would have minded.
In what context does... Because I always tell... everyone, don't send them ever, unless you're in a relationship and she knows
a dick pic.
Yeah, because it's like she's friends with him. She's like, oh, that's little Justin, or you know what I mean? It's like you're friends with the penis. Otherwise,
but the thing is, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? You fuckwit. Like so. I was never ever. The first time I was ever sent a dick pic was the end of last year, and I had to ask for the dick pic to be sent. Different game. Ask for it. Well, because I was really like, you know, you're reading on the internet and everyone's like, oh my god, unsolicited dick pic, fucking disgusting. Like,
so you solicited one.
But I was very like, why aren't I getting a dick pic? Like, why? What's wrong with me? And then I'm like, do people think I'm judgmental? And you know what I mean? Like, is everybody kind of like, oh god, do not send a dick pic to Caroline. She will fucking rip it apart. And I would. Wow. Like, I would show my friends immediately. And we'd just be like, oh my god.
That's what I tell guys, is they will show their friends. Everyone will laugh.
Immediately.
Don't do
Everybody's laughing at dick pic. Nobody's like, ooh, dick pic. Like,
guess what I want to do now? Which is why guys...
And going like... oh, I'll keep this privately to myself to maybe like, you know, what one of my coworkers affectionately goes later. No one's doing that.
DJing. Yeah.
No one is clicking the mouse later. And also being like, it's not like when you send your tits to a dude and a dude's like, fuck.
But that's why dudes do it, because they think it's like, if she sent me some naked shit, I'd be like, fuck yeah. And it's like, men and women are different. You cannot just
no.
pretend... we're all the same.
I have taken intimate photos within the context of a loving relationship. And those pictures were quite full on in a way where I had feelings that took me from girl to womanhood. You know what I mean? Like, it was very, wow, that's actually fucking hot. I think because I was involved in them. And not saying like, oh, look at me, like I'm a babe. But I think because I was participating at the time, and then you look at the picture and you remember that experience.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Sure,
You're like,
okay.
ooh, yeah, like hot.
Interesting.
But dick pic. So, never got sent a dick pic, felt left out of the loop. So I asked this dude for one.
She insisted. She basically...
Well, I said, I was like, can you send me a dick pic,
okay,
please? And he was really like, really? And I'm like, yes. Like, definitely, 100%. But also I brought it up in a really, like, roundabout way. I was like, so, you know, like, dick pics, am I right? Like, you know, just trying to, like, open up the topic.
You were like, greetings, fellow kids.
Greetings, fellow kids, metal band. And I've got, like, my skateboard, and I'm really like, so, dick pic.
Anyone likes to do the marijuana?
Hey, who wants a tab of marijuana? And yeah, we're automatically doing the Macarena.
The marijuana.
And so...
I was doing the marijuana. Anyway,
oh my
continue.
God, you're the worst dad joke. That's the worst dad joke I've ever heard. Continue. So, and he was really like, really? Are you sure? Really? I'm like, send me the goddamn dick pic, you can't. Like, just fucking shoot it off. And I got it. And I was like, gross.
Yeah.
Like, that's because, okay, my issues with it, and maybe it was this one particular dick pic, but it was taken from above. So, and it was holding on to dick. The flash was on. And
yeah, okay.
It kind of made the pube situation like, I don't know, like here's a good example. take a flash on in darkened room picture of your pubes and then tell me that looks attractive.
Are you talking like a Christmas tree, like the branches were sort of...
No, it was very like, it was just... And I don't know, he was white, so I think that made it worse. Like, there was a reflective element, because that kind of area of the body rarely sees sunlight, obviously. And so it was, like, white as white can be. It was like my shirt with black pubes on it. And I was like, this is just some serious fucked up shit. And so, yeah, like, it just... I don't know. Like, I don't regret asking for the dick pic.
But you're not a convert to the...
I'm not like, oh, you know, this is a definite, like, requirement of my sexual arousal process. We need to wrap it up.
Wait a sec. I wanted to go back to... We had a fair bit of heteronormative generalisation, right?
We did.
I had to exclude the gay community. We did mention lesbians and...
You mentioned lesbians.
Yeah, because...
You like saying lesbians.
Yeah, I mean...
Bless it out.
The gay men that I know are quite lovely, but I'm less likely to have sex with them than I would with the lesbians that I know.
I'm going to agree to disagree there. I think you're way more likely to have sex with a gay mate than a lesbian fucking giving you some.
Look, statistically, I'm way ahead.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like, the lesbians, like, the guys are like, I'm sexually aroused by dudes, and chicks are like, I am not sexually aroused by dudes, and you think it's more likely you're going to have sex with the chick who has no sexual interest in you whatsoever, as opposed to the dude who possibly could.
Okay? It's a spectrum.
I love the logic. Oh, this makes perfect sense.
Well, maybe... Look, the times that I've gotten lucky have been with a bisexual lesbian, okay? The times that...
Bisexual lesbian or bisexual person?
In a relationship. Meanwhile, a close friend of mine was in a relationship with a girl for like 2 years, and she was like, what am I doing? Like, it was like the lesbian...
I've had a friend who've switched. I've had friends who've switched and who've, like, but like staunch identified as lesbian. Like, les. And then just kind of being like, hey, I'm now kind of with a dude. And you're like, fucking whatever.
And vice versa. My friend was like, I'm not gay, but I'm just in a relationship with a girl right now. And I was like, okay. Yeah, didn't identify and just, you know. Anyway, gay marriage. That thing happened.
Yeah, gay marriage. How do we feel? Look, I am for it.
It's not legal yet, you know. Like, you still have to go to somewhere else to get it done.
The Senate.
Yeah, but it happened, you know.
It fucking happened. And this is the thing, my all-time personal favourite thing is that when there is a vote situation and people are very like, democracy, 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 everybody pre the vote, both sides are like, democracy, democracy, democracy. Like, we fucking support it. Democracy. Like, it is the backbone of our society. And then the second the vote happens... The cunt that loses is like, well, what about the 40% of people who voted no? Like, what about them? Did their thoughts not get heard? Yes, they just did. They just did. 40% said no. We have heard you.
There was a lot of...
The end. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, my thoughts haven't been respected.
Excuse me.
Well, that wasn't what the vote was about. It wasn't like each individual vote is now going to be respected. It was... You know, is this not what the society wants?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like, and also like, oh, but the 40% of people are now really fucked off. And it's just like, well, of course they are. They're lost. You know what I mean? Where it's just very like, fucking, Jimmy, it's not your toy. You know what I mean? It's not your toy. It's decided that, I don't know, Timmy is going to have it. And then Jimmy's all fucked off. And you're just like, just fucking Jimmy, whatever, mate. Like, you didn't cross the line this time.
Didn't have it.
You didn't cross the line.
I studied some justice subjects for psych, and one of the things I found fascinating was in the sociology area. They say that the laws reflect the desires of the people. Like, the government goes, oh, we better change that, or everyone's going to revolt, and there'll be anarchy. So, across time and the evolution of society... Stuff like this has happened throughout history where it's like Everyone would like murder to be illegal, more so than the people who were like, I just kill people when they don't do what I want. There was a murder vote.
I'm quick to stab.
Yeah.
Like,
screw it. Problem solved, and I can take the chips.
Yeah,
alright?
like-
And it's like people were a big fan of that at one stage, and then
punishment.
there was more people who were like, people keep killing people I care about because there's no like legal ramifications for that.
Like, no one's really discussing it.
Yeah. And so then going to prison forever became a deterrent, and even though a friend of mine has a mate who's a homicide detective, and he said a lot of these people are very nice people who just crack it once and it ruins their life.
Well, this is what I'm finding in because I am currently studying criminology. Fun fact.
Good fun.
And case study, like particular case studies. So the issue with criminology is it tries to look at everything, which is great. But then people really get bogged down in case studies, which is also really interesting. And yeah, like there's more often than not, people are just killing one time once. Like there are family annihilators, but again, that's like sort of one act.
Yeah,
where there are
crack.
several deaths.
I mean, you've had a child. I mean, have you not been like, oh my god, and just cracked it in a shopping centre? You know, like
No,
it.
I had different parenting techniques.
Okay.
I worked on shame a lot with my kid. I was like, I'm going to embarrass you. And he's very like, oh my god, you actually will. And I'm like, yeah, I will.
Deterrence.
And so he's like,
Deterrence, yeah.
uh-oh. Like, my mum is that much of a nutcase. I'm like, yep.
I think you do it for fun now. You just embarrass him for fun now. It's like not even teaching him
It's
anything.
it's just shits and gigs at this point. And I think he's on board. Like, he's really just like, oh, crazy ass mum being crazy. But yeah, like, it's like this one-off kind of circumstances, series of events. They feel justified or trapped or like, you know, this is my only way, you know, whatever. And so then they just go ahead with it.
I mean, sometimes you got to throw a bitch off a balcony, you know, if she's going to leave you.
Sometimes you've got to. Sometimes you've got to poison that scumbag cheating husband of yours. Because he's going to rip your family apart and everything you hold dear. You know what I mean? And then people are just like, but why don't I get divorced? And why don't blah, blah, blah? And people are just like, well, because, I don't know, they can't.
Yep. Have you seen that TED Talk, Why Doesn't She Just Leave?
Which is the biggest crock of bullshit I've ever heard in my life. Can we talk about that next time? Can we wrap?
Yeah.
Can we wrap it up? So, speaking of my kid, the final thing, as we say, I love embarrassing my child. Asher, right now, is...
Wait, let's call him Tanya.
Asher. Shout out to Asher. He is trying to...
Hey, buddy.
He's on...
I might be your dad, we're not sure.
Oh my god, this is just insane.
All my friends thought that.
No one did. No one fucking did. Michael did. Michael did. And it was like, oh my god. Anyway, I'm just going to shout out my kid because I fucking love him. That's all.
I do too, even if he's not mine.
Which he isn't. So, so this was great. Thank you for listening. I feel like I'm being like a bit of a douche. Like, thanks for listening, guys. Why don't you check it out on blah, blah, blah.
Like and
You're
subscribe.
better at this shit.
True, have done it for many years. Like and subscribe. Body Language on Facebook. There's a picture of me with no shirt on, which I love. And
it's the dick pic that Facebook allows.
Yeah.
No one wants
it's solicited.
to see it.
It's
no
been solicited.
One wants
it's
to
very
see
much
it.
solicited.
Michael's very like, I'm gonna get some panties dropping. Panties dropping. And it's like, no one's panties have dropped. Not one pair of panties.
Did you like that with the sigh?
But also like the crying. No one's liked my panty picture. Okay, keep going. Sorry. Like and subscribe.
Body Language, the Normal People's Playbook. Like and subscribe.
Amazing.
YouTube Body Language. Okay. So
Party on.
Go for it. The links will probably be in the description. However, etc.
I don't know how people say this kind of stuff. Anyway, see ya.
Bye. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.